This is Bedtime Stories, Grown-Up Edition, Sins of the Father, Part 4, and part of my hair because I'm still in the middle of my home improvement projects. Now, when we left off, I told y'all multiple times that Donovan went missing, and not of his own accord. And I was in the process of trying to tell y'all how that happened. So when we left off 2 weeks earlier, Donovan had met up with Portia and pulled a fast one on her, and he pulled a gun on her too. And Michael and Melissa had pulled a fast one too. We know how they left the docks, but nobody else does. And Maribel was on her way to meet Jeff. She has no idea what he has in store for her. But considering that he had her throw everything out of the window, she knows that it can't be good. The Queen Mother and the families know too. And at this point, they're hoping that since the kids couldn't have been following Donovan, they've been following Maribel. And there's some kind of way gonna save the day. And for kicks, Lorenzo decides to try to track the children's cell phones. He's figuring that if Melissa was smart enough to leave her necklace around the neck of her guard, she's certainly smart enough to not allow her cell phone to be tracked. But it was worth a shot. As expected, Melissa proved that she is absolutely her father's daughter. While they don't share blood, they absolutely think alike because Melissa powered her phone off. And when Lorenzo tracks Michael's phone, he's shocked and surprised that it's trackable. He looks at the Queen Mother and says, that can't be a mistake. Michael's too smart to make those kinds of mistakes. He wanted to be tracked. The Queen Mother said, well, where are they? Lorenzo said, that's just it. They're in what looks like a rural area, so the pin isn't going to be exact. I have it within about 1/10 of a mile. They're going to be somewhere in this area. Manny said, 1/10 of a mile is good. I'm going to get some men over there right now. Meanwhile, Maribel was focused on following the instructions that the mechanical voice inside the vehicle was giving her, but she noticed that a car seemed to be following her. And when she pulled onto the property, per the mechanical voice's instructions, the car kept going. So she figured maybe she was just paranoid. While she was really hoping that that was somebody associated with the family keeping track of her, she also didn't want to put anybody else in danger. Because at this point, Jeff or whoever was behind this was dangerous. She got out of the car, checked her surroundings, slowly made her way up to the porch, and before her foot hit the last step, the front door opened, and standing behind it was Jeff. And he said, Maribel, what the hell you doing here? Meanwhile, on the yacht, Manny said, I think that it's time that we go ahead and relocate this entire operation to the safe house. We know where the children are. We got men headed that direction, and both Donovan's necklace and cell phone are still trackable and pinging his location. Lorenzo, you good with that? Lorenzo said, yeah, as long as I don't have to do the driving, I'm good. The Queen Mother turned to Marley and said, let True and Stephanie know that we're on the way. True and Stephanie been debarked. They left as soon as the yacht docked. So when they got the call, True called one of the soldiers and said, get all of the luggage out of the cabin that Maribel was staying in and bring it to the safe house. Before she and Stephanie debarked, they left their luggage in Maribel's cabin with Maribel's luggage. Their thinking was that none of them would be returning to the yacht and getting to the safe house and getting everything that they would need for whatever operation came out of all of this drama was the most important thing, not carrying luggage around. So Ghost, the soldier that True called, said, all right, boss, I'm on the way. Ghost turned to the general that he reported to and said, that was the boss. She wants me to bring her and Stephanie and Maribel's luggage to the safe house. And the general said, well, what the hell she called you for instead of calling me? Ghost said, I guess she liked me better than she liked you. The general said, you better slow your roll, young nigga. That ain't the game you want to play. Ghost said, I'm just saying, we cool. Drunk with her at the bar last night, chopped it up. She good peoples. The general said, nah, she your boss. She threw you a Hail Mary. She probably wanted to ruffle some feathers. Don't get it twisted. Ghost said, who feathers she trying to ruffle? The general said, that's not your business. You just keep focused on the business. Ain't nothing personal between you and the boss. Ghost said, last time I checked, that was up to her, not you. The general said, you know this is not the kind of job you get fired from, right? If you lose this job, it'll be because you lost your life. Keep it professional. and keep your head, literally and figuratively. Understand? Ghost said, I'm going to play my position. And if she want to make it more than professional, I will certainly oblige. The general just shook his head. See, the generals knew that True was spoken for. They also knew that she started as a finisher and that her brand new fiance was a finisher too. And while Big Wood was out of the life, he still wasn't nothing to play with. But no different than if the boss was a man. The soldiers didn't know anything about her personal life. And True had done what unhealed people do. She was pissed off at Big Wood. She went to the bar, decided to chop it up with one of the soldiers, knew that he would see it, and wanted to piss him off. She hadn't considered, though, how that soldier was going to handle it. So when Ghost left with the bags, True got a call from the general, and he said, "Yo, boss, I'm not trying to get in your business," but True said, "Then don't get in my business." The general said, I'm not. My concern is that you call Ghost and ask him to bring you the bags instead of calling me and letting me assign somebody to bring the bags. That gives the other soldiers the wrong idea. Either they're going to think that he's getting special treatment and maybe he's got a promotion coming up, or they might think y'all got something going on. I'm also concerned that it might give him the wrong impression. True said, "Would you be making this phone call if I was a man?" The general said, "I'd be making this phone call if you were a man and you were new to your position. Absolutely." True said, "Oh, so you calling me because I'm still new at being a right hand, and you figured that you could teach me something. Is that what you're saying? You just watching my back. Is that what you're saying?" The general said, "Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't mean no disrespect, and I'm not trying to cross no boundaries. I just hate to see this nigga lose his head. Literally." True said, "Okay, Stacks. You watching my back, you looking out for me, and you trying to make sure that Big Wood don't kill him? Is that what you saying? Because if that's what you saying, then you minding my business. What are you supposed to be doing right now?" Stacks said, "I was assembling a team to get ready to be on go just in case Donovan needs backup." True said, "And did that require you to be making phone calls?" Stacks said, "Yes." "So if I would have called you and asked you to assign somebody to bring me my bags, would that have interrupted you completing the task that you were assigned to complete?" When Stacks said, "Well, I mean, briefly," but True said, "So would it make sense for me to call somebody else since you already had an assignment?" Stacks said, "Yes." True said, "Then I don't give a damn what anybody else thinks. I know what the hell I'm doing. If I was a man, you would not have called me, even if I was a new man. Not because you was worried that other soldiers might think that Ghost was getting a promotion or special treatment. That's a conversation we could have had during our debrief. You called me because you concerning yourself with things that's not your concern. My reputation and my personal relationships are none of your damn business. Now, unless you want to be reassigned or demoted or lose your head, I suggest you stay in your place." True hung up. Stephanie was like, "Okay, big boss, I see you." True said, "These niggas is always trying me. I don't know if it's my size or my gender or a combination of the two." Stephanie said, "Oh, it's your beauty and your booty too. Don't forget that." True said, "I feel like I spend too much time putting these niggas in check. I'm gonna have to do something about this." Meanwhile, at Jeff's house, Maribel is now inside. She and Jeff are inside his home office. When he opened the door, he pretended to be surprised that Maribel was there. He claimed not to be the person who'd been sending her the text messages, not the ones with the videos or the ones instructing her to come to his house. Jeff said, "I just found out yesterday from Uncle Nigel that Portia's the one who attacked you. I think she's behind all of this. And I had no idea, Maribel, I swear. The last time I talked to Portia, she told me to stay home because she had a surprise for me. I thought you were her pulling in the driveway." Maribel said, "So what about that mess that you pulled at the spa?" Jeff said, "Maribel, I promise you, I thought you knew it was me. I got a text message telling me that you were going to the spa. How else would I have known? I thought you sent me the text from your business phone because I don't have that number." Maribel said, I didn't text you, Jeff. Jeff said, well, how in the hell else would I know that you were there? Maribel said, well, maybe you were following me. Jeff said, but you got security. Wouldn't they have been following you or taking you or something? Maribel started getting a little confused. She wasn't really sure what to believe. She said, okay, well, what about these previous intimate experiences that we clearly had by the looks of those text messages that I received? And what you said on the phone after that mess at the spa. You drugged me, didn't you? Jeff said, what? No, I didn't drug you. I can't believe that you would even accuse me of some mess like that. If that was the case, why would I even mention it so casually? Are you telling me that you don't remember when you showed me around your property, your garden, your hothouse? Maribel said, yeah, I remember that. And Jeff said, so you don't remember when you showed me that you were growing myristicacia and I asked you why and if you were using it? Myristicacia is a plant that can be ingested as well as used topically. When ingested, it causes psychoactive effects that induce an altered state of consciousness, euphoria, and temporarily increases one's libido. And using it in excess also results in temporary short-term memory loss. So when Maribel says that she remembers that, Jeff said, you told me that you use it topically for numbing and other things. And I asked you if you eat it. You remember that, right? And Maribel said, yeah, and I told you that I don't. Jeff said, and you don't remember that we plucked some and we both ate some? Maribel thought and said, I do remember that, but I don't remember anything after that. Well, after that, we walked back to the house and had lunch. Jeff said, so you don't remember what happened after we ate it, before we walked back to the house and ate lunch? Maribel said, no, I don't. Jeff said, wow. Okay, so we fooled around a little bit. We didn't go all the way, but we did enough. Maribel said, enough to have video? And you call that fooling around? Jeff said, no, that was the first time. Maribel asked, well, how many times did this happen? Jeff said, oh, just twice. The second time we were getting ready to eat that wonderful salad you made. And I said it would be great if we put some myristicacia on it. You remember that, right? Maribel said, no, actually I don't. Jeff said, I walked to the hothouse. I plucked some. I put it on our salads. We ate the salads. We talked. And then you initiated intimacy. I asked you if there were cameras on the back patio. And when you said that they were, we went down the stairs behind the house where you said there was a blind spot. You asked me to record. So I did. I recorded you and you recorded me. Maribel asked, how far did this go? Jeff said, I pleasured you and you pleasured me, but we didn't go all the way. Maribel said, I need to see the video. The whole video. Jeff walked Maribel over to his laptop, went to a hidden folder on his computer, and showed her the video. Maribel was disgusted, and as tears streamed down her face, Jeff said, I had no reason to believe that you didn't want to do this. You initiated most of it. You see that, right? Maribel said, I just don't understand why I remember nothing, and it appears that you remember everything. Jeff said, well, I remember most of it. There were parts that I didn't remember until I looked at the video. But you also have to remember that I got you by at least 100 pounds. So I wouldn't have experienced as many of the side effects that you did. It's not a drug. We didn't measure it. We just ate it. Maribel said, so you have this video on your computer and your phone? Jeff said, no, just on the computer. I don't keep stuff like that on my phone. Maribel said, then how did Portia get her hands on it? Jeff sheepishly said, well, I got video with her too from back in the day. When she and I hooked up, she asked to watch it. She saw where I kept it in this hidden folder. And one of the times while I was interrupted, because either Donovan or Bella were at the door, she must have accessed the folder. I didn't know at the time that she was out to get you. Hell, if I knew that, I wouldn't have even hooked up with her. She has to be the one who was sending you those messages. because there isn't anybody else who even knows about the folder on the laptop or has even had access to my laptop. Maribel said, okay, let's say that all of that's true. Why in the hell would Portia have me come here right now, Jeff? What's the goal? Jeff said, I have no idea. Maribel said, so you didn't know that Portia and Donovan were in treatment together? You didn't know that they knew each other? Jeff said, no, I knew that. She told me that. She wanted me to help her get with Donovan. Maribel said, right, and that's why you pretended not to know her when you met Donovan at that restaurant. Jeff said, Portia asked me to connect her with Donovan, and I agreed to do it. And I couldn't let him know that I was doing that. Maribel said, Portia drugged Donovan in treatment. Did you give her the drugs? Jeff said, she did what? I didn't know anything about that. And how or why would I give her drugs? First of all, she's on drugs. So whatever medications they prescribed her, she probably used that. Maribel said, Donovan is meeting Portia right now. What the hell are you two up to? Jeff said, I promise I'm not up to anything. And I don't know why she would arrange for you to come here at the same time that she's meeting Donovan, but I'll call her right now and find out. Then Jeff made a phone call. Maribel could only hear his side of the conversation, but she could definitely hear a woman's voice on the other line. Jeff said, Portia, what the hell is going on? After a long pause, Jeff said, she's here right now. Why? After another long pause, Jeff said, okay, but what? Okay. Okay. And when Jeff hung up, he scrolled and did something on his phone, looked at something for a while, looked up at Maribel and said, it looks like Portia got what she wanted. And then he handed her the phone. On the screen is what appears to be a text message with a video attached. And when she hits play, it's a short clip of Portia, Pleasure, and Donovan. In the video, he's blindfolded, and his hands are above his head. She can't see his hands, but it looks like there's a rope around his wrist. Maribel says, is he tied up? Jeff said, apparently he likes it wild.